What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about it. Here we are at about 2.5 cents now. What I love about this range, what we've been talking about, I forget if I said it at the bottom here, if I said it after this move. I forget when I said it, but I was saying that I expect a full recovery from this low all the way back up to these highs and beyond, right? I expect that we're about to break. This was the low, the higher low from this low that's going to set us up for new highs, new relative highs, and potentially even new all-time highs. And what I was saying around this area as well is that I expect, unlike these other moves that we've had moving up where it's just been explosive, just nonstop, you just want to hold on for dear life, I'm expecting that this move, at least the retracement, the full retracement all the way up to our relative highs, it's going to be very tradable. And I think it has been so far. I think it's been very tradable so far. If we look at this on a 1 hour time frame, I mean, you've got a move up here that lasts for about 6 hours, then you consolidate for like 9 or 10 hours, then you move up for about 3 or 4 hours, then you consolidate for another 8 or 9 hours, another 3 hour move, and now we've consolidated again. I'm assuming at any point now we're going to move up. I did sell at various points, and I want to just say real quick in regards to the short-term kind of trading stuff that we've been doing with this, right? The day trading, it's literally been day trading, man. I swore off of day trading, but I've been day trading. A couple trades each day. You know, it's not, I guess that is day trading, to be completely fair, but it's not what I think of when I think of day trading. I guess I think of more degenerate than that. A couple trades here or there when the moment strikes. It's just opportunistic is what it is. But what I want to say, enough about that, is that I feel like I've timed the tops pretty well every single time. It's the lows that I've had a hard time with. And what's unfortunate about this is I did sell. I sold basically near the top here and near the top here. I did catch the lows on this range, but on this range, I had so many buy orders, you guys, right here in this area. And last night, I canceled. I canceled on this move here because I would rather get in, even though I only got in at slightly lower prices from where I sold, I still am getting in at a cheaper price. I'd rather get in to catch that next move up than try and time this and catch it exactly perfect at the low, right? Playing with it a little bit, but the real thing that you want to do is try and just make sure that you're on the boat before it takes off to its next destination. Does that make any sense? And I feel like this range, this trading, if you're doing it right now, if you're having fun with it like I am, it's really forgiving. It's really forgiving as long as you're in the aspect of stay on the boat before it takes off, right? You don't want to miss the boat, because if you're just waiting for that lower low to come and it never comes, that's where you run into trouble. That's where you miss out on all the fun. What you need to be okay with is not catching the absolute low, because if you're looking to find the absolute low, you're probably, again, you're going to miss that next ride up. And I suspect right now, being at about 2.5 cents, we probably will be moving up soon. Sure, you know, we have like an inverse head and shoulders kind of right here. I don't know if I would call it that, but kind of, right? You've got this like left shoulder, head, right shoulder here. I don't know if I would call it that. Inverse head and shoulders tend to be at the bottom of trends, while this is like a stopping point at the top of this trend here, but it looks somewhat bullish. The 1 hour RSI also looking bullish, bouncing off the 50. Rejecting the 60 is not a good sign. So what we want to see is if it goes lower, we want to see a bounce off the 40, or if it goes higher, you want readings above the 60, maintained above the 60. So depending on what we do, we absolutely could go lower. I suppose the RSI would suggest that we go lower. And if we were to go lower, what we might see, maybe I spoke too soon on saying that we were going to go up from here, you know, low to high, what we might see is 2.36 to 2.3 cents come back on the table. It's very possible that could happen. But again, trying to time the lows is not the easiest. I was expecting the price back here to go lower than it did, and it didn't go lower, right? I basically was expecting the price to go right here. I had buy orders there, but who cares? I canceled all of them, and I FOMO'd in up here just in case it was about to take off again. So that's irrelevant. What I meant too, I want to touch on a point real quick, is it's very forgiving, especially if you're not leverage trading, because if you just buy and the price goes down, it does whatever. It goes lower than you expect it to go. I mean, this is on the 1 hour time frame, so if you just wait a full day, it's going to be back. If you wait a full another day, it's going to be up. There's no pressure. There's no pressure at all. The only pressure should be, am I going to miss the next move up? It looks like we're moving down right now as I'm making this video here. So down we go, my friends, down we go. It's not an inverse head and shoulders look. I mean, it looked like it kind of at that moment, but I also said that's unorthodox. It doesn't come in at the tops normally, but had a good look for a second, and we just gave that up. It does look now to me like we're going through a 1, 2, 3-legged correction, and I would expect it to take us to the bottom of this range here, an area that you found support right there, and an area that we found support over here. So something around 2.3, maybe even just below 2.3 cents. Yeah, at the very least, I would expect, let's see, what would the very minimum expectation be? Low to high, something at 2.36. So 2.36 to 2.3 cents, maybe even just below 2.3 cents. If we go lower than that, that's fine. You know, we could go all the way to 2 cents. I don't care. If we go lower, I'll just buy more, right? But there's no pressure. Okay, if you're like me and you've bought at all through this range and we go lower than you are now, no pressure at all, right? Who cares? It's a little bit lower. Just blink. You're not making money today, but you'll make money tomorrow. Or you're not making money this hour, but you'll make money next hour. You know, whatever. And as of right now, I very much do believe that we're going to go lower. But at any given point, we could reverse this, right? Because we are still somewhat in this uptrend here. If we look at the trend with the lows here, low, higher low, I guess I would actually say that we go a little bit lower. Maybe here. Low there, yeah. I would think that we go lower, but at any point we could continue to move up. We do still have higher lows after all. You never know, right? But if I really had to guess, I would think that, yeah, 2.3, probably just above 2.3. But if we go just below, don't be scared, right? This line here, if we even break this line, it's not the end of the world, right? We're still finding support at previous areas of support and resistance. It's not a bad thing. We'd be finding support there, let's see, from a low to a high on a fib perspective, right at the 0.5, which is very common right now. A lot of cryptos are finding support and resistance at their 0.5s. It's most common whenever finding support on your 382 to go just a little bit through it, and that 382 is at 2.38 cents. What's just a little bit through it? 2.3, 2.36 cents, right? It's all the areas that we're talking about finding support. So it makes sense that we probably go a little bit lower. In fact, by the time most of us watch this video, I'm assuming that low will already happen. XCN likes to make its lows rather fast and then recover from them rather fast as well. I want to end the video on this kind of topic of when we're going to move up again, because we're moving down. I think it's clear we're moving down now. Probably, again, by the time most of you are watching this, it'll be irrelevant. But if we look at this high, if we take this high and we take this consolidation phase on a 1 hour perspective, when did we break out? We broke out after 9 hours. So on the 9th hour, that's when we found our low, and that's when we broke out. Okay, next kind of idea, from the high here to when we broke out, it was on the 8th hour. We had a little fake out on the 7th hour, and this is why you need to have conviction when you buy. Okay, I bought on this candle, this wicking candle. Imagine how I felt at the end of the hour, right? We had a lot of volume come in, but it was a big wick. That's not a good feeling. It was looking like we were going to go down, but I held anyways because, again, there's no pressure. Let it go down. Whatever. It's going to come back up. There's all the reasons to believe it was going to go down, right? It made sense. I did think it was going to go down, and I still held anyways. And that's the whole point, right? We're in a bullish phase. It's better to lean on the side of caution as far as bullishness goes, not as far as bearishness goes. So on the 8th hour, we moved up there. On the 9th hour before, remember, that was whenever we moved up here. 8th hour, 9th hour. Now we've consolidated here on this high for 13 hours. Now, I'm not saying that we have to break out this candle, but relative to this movement overall, we are a bit overdue in this consolidation phase. And it might make sense that this one's a little bit longer. We had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of impulsive count on the 1 hour time frame here. We might be seeing a 1, 2, 3 correction from this to continue moving higher afterwards, you know, and that could happen after 5 legs or 3 legs up, 2 legs of consolidation, a 5 wave count like that. You could see a more kind of sustained consolidation phase than anything else that we've seen so far. But at 13 bars, while the other one was 9 and this one was 8, we are getting a little bit over the average limit of this move so far. And who am I to say average, right? Because we only have 2 iterations, but still, it is a little bit larger of a consolidation phase. My assumption would be that we are over halfway through this consolidation phase, which means that by the 26th hour, we would likely be breaking out to new relative highs by this time. Not at this hour, but by that hour. I would assume, you know, we're probably over halfway through this consolidation phase as it stands now. That's my assumption. So essentially, looking at this, that would imply that either by the end of today, we'll be at new relative highs. By the end of today, you know, from the current price, we'll probably go lower, but by the end of today, we can make a 14% move or higher from here. If not by the end of the day, which that would be here, then within the first 4 hours of the next day, the first 4 hours of tomorrow, we'll be moving up. So all that to say, my friends, today is going to be a little consolidation, it seems. I don't expect that by the time most of you watch this that we'll be moving up just yet, but you never know. It can happen at any given moment. Pack your bags, load up, right? all aboard. This is your last call if you want to get in before it starts moving up. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but I would assume by the time most of you watch this, we are either at the most ideal areas to buy or we've already bounced from there. Okay, I want you to understand, if we bounce from that 2.36 to 2.3 cent area or just below there, and you're back at this current price here, you're back above these lows, there's no lower prices coming. Okay, that's it. That was it. Now all we're thinking about is up, because we're overall in this consolidation phase, a much larger consolidation phase than just 13 hours, right? This consolidation phase here that's been lasting since January 26th. We've got a triple peak, triple bottom here, right? You've got this low here, you've got this low here, and then this low here. Nice recovery, volume following through as you're coming up. 4-hour RSI in the downtrend the whole time that we've been in this consolidation phase. Wouldn't it make sense that this low, our final low, our higher low that we just had here, while that was the lowest point in the RSI, that was also the low that set us up to break out of this downtrend in the RSI. We've absolutely broken out of it here. Does that mean that we're going to shoot through the roof immediately? Probably not. It can happen, but probably not. But it is something to be aware of, that we are no longer in a downtrend. Every dip is a buying moment, and I very much do suspect that we will be methodical all the way up until we get around, prices that are above 4 cents. Maybe even once we're above 4.6 cents, that's when I think things will get explosive again. So we have a lot of time. We got a lot of room to play. There's no stress. There should be no stress. If you're feeling stressed at all, you're doing it wrong. And if you're doing it wrong, it's okay. But you can stop doing it wrong by doing this. Just buy and hold and breathe. And then if the next top comes along and you sell there, and then it keeps running without you, just wait, just be patient, because odds are it'll probably still pull back. Maybe you don't get to buy at the same price that you sold. Maybe it's just a little bit higher and you have to learn a lesson there, or whatever. Or maybe if you're just patient, it will come back to the areas that you sold or even lower. You know what I mean? So even if you sell at the wrong place, this is a very forgiving range, right? Imagine you didn't know what's going on and you sold the top of this wick here, and you were like, at the end of the hour, you thought you were super smart, right? And then 2 hours later, you're like, oh no, I messed up. But if you just waited, you would have still gotten to buy back at the price that you sold, even a little bit lower if you timed it properly. So all I'm trying to say, guys, is this is very, very forgiving stuff. Do not, if you want to leverage trade, that's up to you. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm staying away from leverage trading. I'm just using spot, right? But to each their own. If you just don't feel any pressure at all, there's really no need to feel pressure. And as long as you're in it for the next ride up, that's the main point, right? You want to be overly bullish. You do not want to be overly bearish. If you're overly bullish and you make a mistake, if you're overly bullish and you buy the top and you make a mistake and you have to hold through this consolidation phase, we'll wait for it to move up, and then you'll get the next consolidation phase to try again. Or if you don't want to try at all, just keep holding and keep buying whenever we're on these consolidation periods on this 1 hour time frame. I don't know. It's not going to look like this. It's not going to be this tame all the way up. Maybe it is, but probably not. So do expect some bigger moves probably to come once we break out of this. We even actually do kind of have a inverse head and shoulders here. There's your left shoulder, there's your head, here's your right shoulder. We kind of actually do have an inverse head and shoulders here. And if this is to be interpreted as such, as an inverse head and shoulders, I'm going to use that as a scam wick. I'm just going to not count that. That kind of movement, we could go all the way up to 3.6 cents in a very short amount of time. So if you're thinking that we're just going to get these little movements all the way up, maybe, but I would kind of expect soon. In fact, on this next move, I would expect that we see a rather explosive move. We're at 2.4 cents now, something that would take us up probably immediately to just under 3 cents, 2.9 cents to just over 3 cents, something like that, if not higher, right? We're going to see a rather explosive move out of this. But even with that, right, the explosive move might bring a more explosive correction than what we've seen. I think it's going to be methodical the whole way up. I think I've said this enough. I've proven my point. I've said everything that I need to say. If you guys like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Absolutely, my friends. Targets that are above 10 cents, targets that are around 25 cents, and anywhere in between still on the table. We could even go higher than that, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves, right? Let's focus on this white box of glory right here, and once we get to that little glory box, we will celebrate. We will celebrate as in the traditional way. All right, my friends, I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.